Welcome everyone to the Ngabuto Mabena talk show. In the previous video, we did briefly discuss about the upcoming elections in Nigeria on the 25th of February 2023. And we did indicate that we're going to be joined by a comrade who's based in Nigeria for us to have this discussion so that we have an understanding on what is happening in Nigeria. We're joined by Comrade Dimeji. Comrade Dimeji, how are you? Please introduce yourself.
I'm Dimeji Macaulay. I'm a socialist and a trade union activist. Yeah. Well, I'm not based in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian.
Oh, you're in Nigeria. You are not in Nigeria. Where are you, comrade?
I'm in Abuja. I said I'm in Nigerian. I'm not based in Nigeria. When you say somebody is based in the country, it means a foreigner.
So you're in Abuja. Nigerian. You are in
I'm
Abuja.
In Abuja. Yes, comrade.
So what is happening in terms of the campaign? We know that the president will not seek a third term, and his party APC has elected another person by the name of Bola Tinubu to contest the elections. How is the campaign going in Nigeria?
Well, the election is ongoing. I mean, the campaign is ongoing. This is the first time in Nigerian general elections that we have 3 prominent candidates. The 3 prominent candidates are coming from 3 regions. The first is Bola Tinubu, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who is a leading member of the ruling party, or Progressive Congress. And the second one is from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who has also ruled Nigeria for 16 years before Bola Tinubu and the Buhari came to power in 2014. Then we have the Labour Party candidate, who is Peter Obi, who has also been governor for 8 years in a southeastern state in Anambra. In all, the 3 contending candidates, then we have Omoyele Sowore of the AAC, Africa Action Congress, who, of course, we are giving critical support to in this election. But the way the campaign has been going, one cannot completely rule out that there are frustrations for the fact that in 2014, 2015, about 8 years ago, around 8 years ago, the present ruling political party came to power under the mantra of change.
Yeah.
So they garnered about 50 million votes in that election, about 45% of eligible voters. And you know that the party has ruled for 8 years. Things have moved from bad to worst. And ordinary people, by 2018, 3 years after they came to power, Nigeria was, according to a research, Nigeria became the capital poverty of the world, where you have less than people. When you have about 80 million people living below $1 per day. So the election itself, in this period, has also have a turnout of about 50 million young people registering. But of course, it's not enough to register to vote. It's also that at the election period, are there alternatives on the ballot? And then the major 2 contenders, maybe by extension, the Peter Obi himself bought their party tickets with about 100 million Nigerian money. That is about 50,000, if not more than $40,000 to get the nomination form. I couldn't do the conversion, but I know it's thousands of dollars. Then in their primary elections, both in the PDP and the APC, and it's good to say that the frustrations people met in this election did not just start. The 8 years rule of the APC has also added terrible experience for the people. Like we said in 2019 that in 2015 that the coming to power of the PDP won't solve anything. But let's come back to the primary of the parties.
Yes.
The present candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, left the PDP, where he was formerly vice presidential candidate, to the present presidential candidate of the party.
Okay.
A PDP. He left when he realized that he will not be able to get the party of the ticket as a presidential candidate. So he came to the Labour Party. And Labour Party, being a party of the workers without workers, being a party of social democrats without social democracy, we are just campaigning that the Labour Party must be mass-based, workers must be inside the party must uplift through democracy. But what we have today is another bourgeois candidate, like the Labour Party. Okay. And that is how all of them got the tickets of their party. They spent billions of nairas to win primary, both the PDP and the APC.
Before we talk much about Peter Obi and the Labour Party, just for the sake of our viewers, what is the main difference between the APC and the PDP? Ideologically, what is the main difference?
The only major difference is the acronyms. The only major difference is the acronyms. PDP, APC.
Ideologically, they are the same.
That sounds funny. Yes. If you ask me, because it's easy in the morning that somebody will say you are in PDP, and in the afternoon, it's not a member of the APC. So there is no difference between the two parties. They have both ruled in different states in Nigeria. They have both ruled Nigeria. There have been fuel increments. There have been electricity tariff increase. The insecurity has continued. Unemployment has doubled.
Right.
Insecurity. So practically the two parties, the only difference between them is the acronyms and the names of their parties.
Okay. The trade unions in Nigeria support the Labour Party. What is the state of the unions? How are workers organized? Would you know what is the membership of organized labor in Nigeria to an extent that the Labour Party can perform well in the elections if it is indeed supported by the labor movement in Nigeria?
Presently, the Labour leadership have declared support for the Labour Party. What the leadership of the Labour Party is doing must be encouraged. But at the same time, with our two eyes opened, the numeric strength of the Labour, both in the Labour Party and both in the two Labour centers, the Trade Union Congress, the Nigeria Labour Congress, may not automatically translate the party to a mass-based party.
Okay.
But what it will help is that a worker in a factory has a family, has an extended family, has a community where he lives. So such a person, if he's active in a party, can garner enough support for his party leadership. So if the numeric strength of the Labour Party of the NLC and the TUC, let's say altogether is 30 million. In an election where we used to have the front runner will be 50 million, around 50 million votes, then 11 million votes. When you put everything together, it's not even up to 50 million. And you have a trade union centers who have 30 million supporters, and they can canvass If 10 million of their members can converse another 10 million to join such a party and to vote for their candidate in the election, without bribing, without gerrymandering, they are sure of winning an election. But the crisis we have now is that there are a lot of confusion.
What
many state chapters, you know, we have 36 states plus FCT. Many states.
We lost you.
Many state chapters.
No, continue. We had lost you a bit because of network problems. We continue.
Network, yes. Many state chapters don't normally agree completely with what the central leadership of the unions does.
Okay.
Or what the central union leaders say they should do. Like, despite the support from the central of the trade unions, there are state chapters who still went ahead to endorse candidate of the PDP, candidate of the APC. So this is just an analysis of why, with what we have now, the Labour Party may not have enough workers in it. The TUC tried to mobilize their workers, affiliates into the Labour Party, so that at least it can become a stronger political party. It will be youth driving. It will be Social Democrat political party where workers can use to struggle for political power. And that has been what we have been clamoring for, for over 3 decades. For over 3 decades. I was part of the young people who formed the campaign for a mass-based Labour Party in 2010, 2011, against the 2011 election. But the right-wing politicians who are taking over the Labour Party never allowed that to come to reality, because they were trading with the party. They give tickets to the highest bidder the same way they did for Obi. But Obi is having the support of ordinary people today because people see him as more conservative. People see him as more conservative. People see him as he's coming from the southern part of Nigeria where they have never been elected president before. So these are factors, and there are social media. A lot of youth people are yearning towards him, and there's also a social media influence support on his campaign. So those are the things around the issue of the trade union in relation to the TUC. I mean, to the forming and the building of the Labour Party.
Let's talk about the security in Nigeria. We have seen the kidnapping of girls. We have seen violence in some parts of Nigeria, particularly around the Biafra area. In this election, are political parties free to campaign, or the election campaign is marked by violence? Have you heard of incidences of violence directed at the opposition?
There have been violence directed to each of the parties. No one has been left aside. Early this morning, I was reading in the news that the army said that there is going to be votes. There's going to be election in the southeast. About 2 days ago, there was a video by the leadership of the Biafra, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, that there will be no election in the southeast, even when they have their own candidate contesting, where they have their own indigenous person, like Peter will be contesting. That is one. The second thing is that the insecurity in Nigeria today has extended so much that as I'm speaking to you, I'm supposed to be in Athens for an international conference. But last week, Wednesday, my car was boggled and my passport was taken away. My documents, my car battery. That is how barbaric things have been. I'm sharing this with you to let you know how things have degenerated when it comes to the issue of insecurity. But you know, we have moved to a stage where the country is leaning towards anarchism because of millions of unemployed people. When you have a country with over 50 million unemployed, and about 20 million are underemployed. The security of the country will be setback in terms of insecurity, in terms of violence in campaigns, in terms of resistance too. So it's not what you can say this will be affected by violence or not. And like I said, there are sentiments in this period, in this election, because this is the first time we have 3 contending candidates that are standing in the election.
So
from three different geopolitical zones.
Okay.
The north, the south, and the south-south, and the southeast. The southwest, the southeast, and the north east.
What is the role of the Socialist Party in this election?
As socialists, we have been part of those who formed the campaign for socialist transformation of Nigeria, CAST. In 2019 election, we have a small party that we registered. We call it the Socialist Party of Nigeria, SPN. We registered the political party after 3 years of political struggles and legal. So we won at the court. The court ordered the INEC to register our political party. But after the election, we were deregistered, that we did not win any states in that election. But what I'm driving your attention to was that as socialists, we will not rely only on elections before we play the role to governate, support, to build a fighting platform. That is why we work in the trade union, we work with social movements, we work in communities to build, to organize, to recruit, and to work with the advanced layers of the working people in the society, because we are small in number, but our ideas is an idea that the time has come. So what we do basically is the role of an educator to educate the people, to activate the people, to recruit them even into our mass organizations, so that they can stand and say, in the coming period, we need a mass workers political alternative. Because that's the campaign we are having now. We are calling on people who are standing alone to come together to form a mass workers political alternative with a socialist program. With a socialist program. That is what we are doing.
So in this election, if I heard you well, the 3 leading candidates are from 3 different regions. Are we likely to see voters, say in the north, voting for a candidate in the east, or people are going to vote for candidates who come from their own regions? What is likely to happen?
It's not directly given. It's not directly given because each of the political parties have their own candidates. I mean, each of the political party also have influence in all of those regions. Though the Labour Party is a very small party that grew up with mass influx of Obi supporters who left the PDP with him. We have the APC, who is in government, who are in power, who have the presidential candidate, who have also been a long time. He has also served as governor, has been former senator. But of course, each of the political parties have influences in their regions. And each of the, because part of the political registration of political party is that you must have representation in 24 states plus FCT, so that your party will not become a regional party. So as we speak now, all of them are contesting, not as a region person, but as a presidential candidate of their party who have influence in the 6 geopolitical zones in the 36 states in Nigeria.
In most of Africa, we have seen ethnicity being used as a tool of mobilizing people for an election. What is the situation with Nigeria?
It's not different. If Yoruba say you are not campaigning for Tinubu, they will say you are a bastard. You know, the Northerners, but you know, the way it is now, one cannot predict what will be the outcome of election. But the roles individual like myself trying to play is to let people know that it's not a question of somebody's Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, or this or that. It's a question of there is a class. There is a two class. The class of the ruling class, where everything is available. They fly in private jets to campaign. They ride in Prado jeeps. They have multimillionaire businesses. And they have access to wealth. And we have another class of people that cut across Nigeria. All of these classes that cut across Nigeria are unemployed. They are suffering from bandits of insecurity. They are suffering from cash traps. As we speak in Nigeria, the scarcity of fuel is across Nigeria. We've been killed. For the past 1 year, since I have been grown up and I've been politically active, I've never witnessed that we have a year that there will be perennial fuel shortage.
Okay.
And there have been fuel increments. So that is first. And the rich are not affected. Then the secondly, this is the first time I will be seeing that there is no money. There is no, we could not access our funds in the bank. We have to spend days in queues before we access our money. We have to spend days and nights in queue before you can withdraw as small as 280,000 naira, which cannot serve you and your family for a week. So, comrades.
Let's move because we are running out of time. Let's talk about the military in this election, because we know historically that there have been coups in Nigeria, and I'm reading in front of me here. It's a BBC article which says Nigeria military denies coup plot came ahead of poll, and it appears the governing party is accusing the military of planning to disrupt the election. What do you know to be the role of the military in this upcoming election?
The role of the military, as things stand now, is to make sure Nigeria organize a peaceful, free, and fair election. The military are not to intervene in the political space. A guy who make a statement that they are planning to hand over government to military has been invited by the security service to come and explain what he meant. Yesterday, he has been released and he has said he regretted his statement. There will be no military coup.
Okay.
Today, the ruling class in Nigeria are united. Are united. So unless there is a mass movement that bring another young people into power or bring the working people into power, the ruling class will always settle between themselves. They always regroup every election years. Some years ago, Bola Tinubu and Atiku are in a political party. This year, they were contesting against each other. In 2015, they were in the same political party. So the idea of but it's not impossible. If the system continues to become chaotic, it may give an open space for the military to take over. Don't forget, the military have taken over in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Congo, in many parts of Africa. So military may also monitor the situation, but it's not what Nigerians wanted. What Nigerians want today is a government that will make basic amenities available for them, make life bearable for them. That is the situation of things.
Well, your prediction, I know you have said you support the Labour Party, but from what is obtaining on the ground in rural communities, in urban centers, who do you think would be inaugurated in May as the president of Nigeria after this election? Your own prediction.
I'm a trade unionist, but I'm telling you that we are giving critical support to Sowore in this election. Of course, by occupation, by building, by being a socialist, And with what has happened, we're supposed to be in the Labour Party, but the characters that made up the Labour Party presently doesn't give us that opportunity.
Okay.
And I don't want to make a prediction that by May 2029, you will see Sowore of the AAC, African Action Congress, as president. Okay. And I did not also want to say that it will be Tinubu. Let's see how it goes. But I know that it's between the two APC and the PDP. The Peter Obi may gain a lot of millions of votes, but may not be able to build that momentum that will get him into Aso Villa in by May 2023.
Well, okay, Comrade Dimeji Macaulay, thank you so much for this discussion. We will talk again after the elections to analyze the outcome. Then we'll talk about the economy in Nigeria. We know you are leading in terms of oil in Africa, but you are always in queues, queuing for fuel. We'll discuss those issues in the next video when we analyze the elections. Please, if you are from Nigeria, you are in South Africa, in the rest of the continent, in Europe, in North America, please share with us your views. And maybe the last question, does Nigerians who are in the diaspora allowed to participate in the electoral process? Will we see Nigerians in South Africa, for example, voting at their embassy, at the Nigerian embassy or consulate? Is there a provision for it?
I didn't hear.
Is there a provision in the Electoral Act for a diaspora vote in this upcoming election in Nigeria?
There is no facilitation for diaspora votes.
Oh,
Nigerian
okay.
electoral system has not developed to that level.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, thanks, Comrade Dimeji Macaulay. Enjoy yourself in Abuja. We wish you all the best in the political campaign. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, circulate to all your contacts. We will meet again after the elections in Nigeria. Otherwise, goodbye. Thank you so much, Comrade.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you. Thank you.